70% of cargoes in Nigeria end up in the southeast.
Hello, my people. Welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by. So, my people, in today's video, we'll be talking about the strategies, the benefits of having or developing a seaport in the southeast. So, before now, I do ask, like, what is the reason why southeast is not having seaport? What is the governors doing? So thank God that right now Olisa have started the process, and by the grace of God, very soon it's going to come to pass. Like very soon, Southeast is going to have a seaport, because I do see a lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges our brothers and sisters are having while transferring their goods from Lagos to East. Yes, my people, a lot of difficulties. Sometimes while transferring your goods from Lagos to East, the container will fall down. Some will lose their goods, like a lot of challenges, you know. But thank God that Olisa is here. He is doing pretty good, and very soon it's going to come to pass, my people. So let me just allow you guys so that you can get the whole gist, like the reason why that up to now Southeast is not having seaport, like what is preventing it. It doesn't mean that they don't want this development in the Southeast. Like what is the main reason and the way forward? Let's watch this video and I will be right back.
Seaports vary in size and capacity, ranging from small local harbors to major international shipping hubs. Large and strategically located ports can have a significant impact on regional and national economies by facilitating trade efficiency, boosting industrialization, and providing employment opportunities. How to develop ports in the eastern part of Nigeria to drive economy of the region are some of the issues that will be on the front burner on today's show. Developing the eastern ports in Nigeria has become imperative, considering the significant economic benefits it will bring to the region. It will also help decongest the Lagos ports, Apapa and Tinkan, which is overwhelmed, leading to delays in cargo handling, increased logistic costs, inefficient trade and logistic operations. Other such benefits include stimulating regional economic growth, ensure enhanced export opportunities, attract foreign investment, boost industrialization, efficiency, trade facilitation, increase revenue for Nigerian government, develop logistics and transportation services, and of course drive global trade. The governors of Abia and Imo State may be nursing this idea that will ensure sustainability growth in the entire southeast region. In Imo State, Nigeria, the Oguta Lake and Orashi River served as a route for export of palm produce, timber, coal, and more to the neighboring regions in the colonial days up to 1854. It's also worthy of note that the state has the highest gas deposits in Nigeria and several communities having oil deposits. In Abia State, the impact of the Obeako Deep Seaport in Ukwa East local government area on the community is huge, as the seaport, if developed, is about 25 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. Experts say a collaboration between Abia and Akwa Ibom states will drop the cost of shipping by 27%. About 70% of the cargoes that berth in Lagos, Nigeria, ends up in the southeast. This has sparked the call to develop ports in the southeastern part of Nigeria. In this chat with Olisa Agbakoba, SAN, a maritime lawyer and founder Olisa Agbakoba Legal, he shares the potential of Nigeria's ports, especially the need to develop the eastern port. It's good to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So let's start this conversation looking at our coastal communities. What exactly do you think is the worth of our coastal communities?
200 trillion, about, if it's harnessed. So the first thing to do is to have a plan. So we don't have a maritime plan. We don't even realize that we are actually a coastal nation. So there's been no consistent government plan to develop the coastal communities and link them together. And that's why we over-depend on oil and gas with all its environmental challenges. But in a coastal community, for instance, if you go to Spain, if you go to Australia is so similar to Lagos. And the place booms, and it booms on ferries, water transportation. That's the niche they've picked. So you got to pick your niche. Some will pick water tourism. If you go to Capri in Italy, water tourism, all the big stars in the world end up there. production of various things required for fishing, for snorkeling, for catching things like what do you call it, tugboats, all sorts. So the market drives what is needed. But if the community at the coastal level are very, very, very basic, then they produce no value. So it's up to the country to say there's a value here and they want to tap it.
So we must get it right. Now we have a dedicated ministry for the maritime industry.
Yes.
So looking at, from your wealth of experience, you mentioned some countries decide to tap into a basic. So what should Nigeria be tapping into, looking at our huge coastal communities?
The first thing to tap into is to understand what's where,
Okay.
which we don't.
Okay.
Because we don't have a maritime map of who's where. We simply know that there are so many rivers, River Imo, River Ogun, River Oshun. Most of these states are named after rivers. River Anambra. Anambra is the largest river running into River Niger, which now flows into the Atlantic. So you must know, where are these rivers? What can be produced? What is it that is needed to empower the local community? That's the first plan. So you see, although I played a strong role in finally bringing to bear the blue economy, but it's not going to be a magic wand. It's not where people are thinking,
you don't just wish it.
Yeah, we've established the ministry. Therefore, no, it's hard work. A lot of hard work, and the hard work is not being done. I don't see it. Since that stakeholder summit till today, I don't see anything happening. Nothing. So we ought to be calling on the minister to take urgent steps to make this country truly a maritime state, which it is not.
Okay, coming down to our ports now, one of the issues that is clear during the minister's tour was the infrastructure deficit in our ports, which is making us not to compete, and a lot of our cargoes have been lost to our neighboring countries. What do you think, or how do you think we should address this infrastructure deficit? I know the minister mentioned that partnering, which is PPP. You also mentioned PPP in looking at tapping our harnessing ocean resources in our coastal communities. So how do you think we should approach this?
Back to the plan. I say if there's no plan.
But you said we don't have a plan.
That's what I'm saying. Back to the plan I talked about. So I just talked about the plan in the context of asking the coastal communities, what is it that you want? That's plan number one. Plan number two is to then determine what are the needs to make Nigeria a maritime nation. Because we are indeed a maritime nation. So this question you now ask would be to say, how do we take advantage of the opportunities that we have? If we are talking about ports, then the question would be, what type of ports? Because there are also supports. You have deep sea ports, you've got river ports, you've got seaports. So you've got to define what is best for us. And if, for instance, we need 20, 30, 40, 50 of them, then you then say, okay, how do we design them? Who's going to build them? What is the role of the licensing authority? What is the role of NIWA? That's their role. The National Inland Waterways Authority. That is exactly their role. But I've never heard NIWA talk about dredging both River Niger and River Benue. Because River Nile sustains the Egyptian economy because it's deep enough. So when the rains fall, it swallows everything. There's no flooding in Egypt because the place is not silted, it's deep. Everything goes into the River Nile. But here, the Benue and Niger particularly always flood. So the first thing is to drill down, clean out those two rivers. If you clean out those two rivers, they in turn will fill up all the rivers around. So you have fish, you have all kinds of aquatic, resources.
And we are blessed with them.
Absolutely. Tuna, we produce the best tuna in the world. We produce the best prawns in the world. But there is no policy to harness it. So when this is done, then we now say, okay, who and who would be interested to invest. Because the role of the government is to create the policy. So the government will create, for instance, this maritime bank, where people can access resources. And then we ask, who are those who are interested in playing in the maritime sector? We've got to ask them. I don't know that government has ever really made a strong effort to identify people who can play in the different sectors. So that's the role of the government. So if they've done that, then they've done two of the most important things. And that's what I hope that they can do.
Okay, we are due for a break. When we return, we'll be looking at 70% of cargoes in Nigeria end up in the southeast. It's a wonder that we have congestion and all that, but we have ports, or we have the opportunities to develop ports, whether river ports or seaports, back in the southeast. And 70% of the cargoes still end up. So why don't we make it easier by developing the southeast? So I want you to speak to it. So what strategic steps or moves do you think the southeast governors should take and change this narrative to be able to drive economic stability for the people in that region?
Again, it goes back to policy. There's no policy. When the colonials were here, they had a policy. So they had critical ports. They had Lagos, they had Calabar, they had Cocoa, they had Port Harcourt, and they knew where to export and import. So they knew what port was best for what. Now there is no such thing. Apart from Roro, Tinkan, I don't know whether there's any special ports. So people just build ports politically and all that, and the federal government doesn't want to let go of Lagos or Port Harcourt. But that's not the correct answer. The correct answer would have been to say, what are the needs? Where are we seeing tonnage? If we have 1 million containers, where are they headed? Now, out of 1 million containers that come, 700,000 berthed in Lagos, only to go by road to the east. Because 7 out of 10 containers end up in Onitsha. Because that's where the market is. It's the largest market in Africa. So everybody from around Cameroon or Togo, I've been to the tile market in Ogidi. You should go there. It's a multi-billion naira tile market. The Chinese are running it. But there's no port. So they're forced to come here. So clearly, it is the responsibility of the the governors of the southeast to ask themselves, what are the possibilities around us? And I had actually designed something back, I think 20 years ago, for the southeast governors, which they didn't look at. I called it the Eastern Maritime Superhighway. Eastern Maritime Superhighway. So design the ports along deep ports. So for instance, Orashi, Oguta, which is Ihiala, which is between Anambra and Imo State. Then Azumiri, you should see Azumiri port. Azumiri waters, blue, beautiful. Then you should see the green waters of...
They were the trading routes.
They were the
colonial days.
The colonials had 41 trading ports. 41 trading ports. They used to push palm canal from Ihiala to Port Harcourt.
Coal, timber.
All of that. It's all gone. So it's all locked in. We're landlocked. Even though we're a coastal city, we're absolutely a landlocked nation, because you can't do anything unless you are using the roads. But we can use the waterways. That is exactly the function of the Nigeria Inland Waterways Authority. But they've done nothing. Nothing. Okay, in fairness, George Moalu got Onitsha to become a river port.
So what exactly, if you are to advise the governor of Imo State, because looking at Imo State, it has the highest gas deposit in Nigeria. It has 7 communities, when it comes to oil. So what exactly should he be doing to tap this potential? Because I don't know, I think it's been political about even the dredging, about even the river port. What exactly should he be doing now?
Well, first of all, I have to ask, are you serious? That's number one. Do you have a legacy? Because if you don't have a legacy, then I can't help you. But if you have a legacy to say, when I was governor, just like when Sam Mbakwe was governor and built Sam Mbakwe International Airport against all odds. If you want to leave a legacy, then the second question would be, say, do you need help to design an infrastructure that can tap your resources, whether it's oil and gas or river ports or seaports? That is the first thing. The people to do all this are everywhere. The people to fund it are everywhere. Port of Antwerp is that the guy is running the Onitsha port, and the governor of Abia wants to also do a massive industrial park, and he wants to bring in, experts.
Yes.
AP Mola, whatever. So there are people willing to come, but they're not going to go into a swamp. They've got to be sure that you are interested, that you are committed to say, yes, come and assist us, open the place. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the people who have the passion and the commitment to improve on what they have seen when they became governor. So I would expect that Governor Hope Uzodinma has a plan. Without a plan, you can't do anything.
All you just want to see is a plan.
A plan.
And his readiness to be able
That is it.
to leave this.
There must be a plan.
So, but if we must develop the Southeast and South-South.
Sure.
And
Nigeria as a whole.
Yeah.
Yes.
There must be political will.
Sure.
But before we get the approval from federal government, what do you think that the Southeast governors together come together? Because it's not an individual thing. Uzodinma does his, Ochi does his, and all that. Soludo, I don't know. So there has to be this collaboration.
Sure.
Aside from also the agencies, maybe NIWA, that is also crucial in to be part of this. So what do you think the Southeast governors should be doing?
We've done it. We've done it 20-something years ago. Me and a couple of people, Chris Okoye, who is a big man in shipping, we pushed for the Southeast Development Cooperation. Where the South, in fact, we even talked about how to create legislation so that they could exchange all sorts of ideas. Nobody was interested. Not a single governor was interested. And in particular, Martin, what's his name now? Forgot it. When they leave office, forget their name. Martin or whatever his name is, or governor of Ebonyi State, was not interested. He made clear to us, my state is backward. What I need to do is to catch up. So what you are saying will even make me go back. That's what he said, a governor. A governor. Shocked, not interested.
It's sad. It's sad, really. Before I let you go, what else do you want to see in the maritime industry? After that engagement?
What else do I want to see? Let me be honest with you. The maritime industry is just a small speck. Is it not time that we ask ourselves, 60 years after independence, we're still in this mess? When I went to Korea, town of about 2-3 million, the capital, there's 61 bridges. Lagos here, that is 20-something million, has only 3. So there's got to be that. And the guy that did it in South Korea was a soldier. Some people are beginning to say, it might sound silly, with the level of poverty and discontentment and disenchantment, are Nigerians really in a position to vote properly? So the question now is, just like some people said, should Parliament not have the power to overturn Supreme Court decisions? And that's because people began to lose faith in the judiciary.
Yes.
So some people are saying, shouldn't we really have a benevolent leader? Who cares if he's there 50 years? Who cares about what he does, so long as he's fixing things?
Yes, he can take us away from
the Chinese model. They are democratic, but if you see what they are doing, they have the Belt and Road Initiative. You know about it? The Belt and Road Initiative on the old Silk Road, over 2,000 years old. They are building roads and bridges. They've now entered into Africa, and when they do so, they can sell their goods. So where are the guys here that can think at that level? And the guys in China are not Democrats. Yet they have brought 1 billion people out of poverty. So there's this whole issue now, because are we going to every 4 years we go through the charade of election? It's my turn. After it's my turn, you go there, nothing happens. So maritime, yes, I know that's your angle, but I think there's a larger picture of the quality of Nigerian politicians and whether they get there to do anything, whether it's in the field of maritime or infrastructure or business or whatever. So that is, I think, is the larger lesson. You can't talk about developing the maritime sector when the leaders are not ready to do anything. Look at Dubai. Dubai is not money. I mean, they had the money. Dubai is vision. Somebody sat and thought out this thing from his head.
Yes.
And with that thinking, the money flowed. And now they have made oil a small part of their entire economy.
Everyone wants to visit Dubai.
Absolutely. Now Saudi Arabia started. They're taking all the things, golf, cricket, Formula One, boxing. That's the way they start, to make their place attractive. So I think that.
And here in Nigeria, we have a lot of ocean resources.
Absolutely.
We are blessed.
Absolutely.
If you go to this place.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's so sad.
I don't know.
It's so sad. It's so sad. People should go. I want people to go to River Ethiopia to see it. Very sad.
This is a fine place to end this conversation. It's been Dr. Olisa Agbakoba, SAN, talking to us about what the Southeast and Southside governors should do to develop the region. Thank you most especially for your time on this.
So guys, that is it. But thank God that Alessoti is here to change the narrative. Just as I said before, he has started the process, and very, very soon we're going to hear a good news that Southeast is now having a seaport. Like, that is most important thing for if he asks any Igbo man or woman, you know, the most important thing they need in Southeast right now is seaport. And Alessoti is going to make it happen very soon. So my people, I think I bring this update to you guys. I hope you truly enjoy watching. If today is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates. And share the video as well. Thank you everyone that have been sharing my video. I truly appreciate you all. I will leave you guys here till my next one. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye for now.